Hello guys, welcome to the next video of Adventure Coder as part of the Leetcode playlist. It's been a few days since I've uploaded. Work's been a bit hectic. I have to catch up to a lot of things, but yeah, I'll try to be more consistent as possible. But as part of today's problem, we are gonna do best time to buy and sell stock. So let's go over read the question. Okay, you're given an array prices where prices I is the price of a given stock on the ith day. You want to maximize your profit by choosing a single day to buy one stock and choosing a different day in the future to sell that stock. Return the maximum profit you can achieve from this transaction. If you cannot achieve any profit, return zero. Okay, so let's go over see what it is. We have 715364. 7, 1, 5, 3, 6, and 4. Okay, now visually looking at it, if I buy on this J, that is, this is my B, and if I sell here, my 6 minus 1 would be max profit is equal to S minus B equal to 6 minus 1 equal to 5. And that is the answer. Okay, but now the question comes is, how do we find this out? Now let's look at it how our brains think. As I've said before, we all should always look at how our brains think about it. Now we don't always see the first. We always try to think that the day when the amount is least is when I have to buy it, but the day when the amount is most is when I should sell it. But that's not always the case. Like we saw here, uh, 1 is the least, but 7 is the highest, but we're selling it on 6 because the day matters here. The time or the index of the element does matter to us. So rather, what matters is if I buy on some certain X date, what is the least value before it and what is the max value after it. So that either the X can become S or B with respect to whatever the least or max value is. So if I buy on 1, the least value before it does not exist and the max value after it exists. So that is 6. And that means if I buy on 1 and then sell at 6, I make a profit of 5. Now finding this is going to be a lot of calculations. We have to do a lot of things. Correct? But there is one more way to look at it. Now that is we break down the time period. Instead of thinking the time period, it doesn't matter to us the time period, or rather you could say it doesn't matter to us when do we buy and when do we sell. What matters to us is we maximize our profit. So let's say if I bought on the first day and sold on the second day, I would make a loss of 6. We obviously wouldn't do that. So let's make that 0. If I bought on first and sold on 5, I would make a profit of 4. Okay. If I lost on fifth and sold on third, I would make a loss of 2. If I, or rather, let me minus 6. Or if I bought on third, sold on sixth, I would make a profit of 3. And if I bought on sixth, minus 2. Now, if you add 4 minus 2 plus 3, that is 4 plus minus 2 plus 3 is still 5. So that means individually, if I buy and sell, like per day, if I buy and sell these values, I will also be able to maximize my profit. So let's write the code with keeping this in mind. So let's say that is initially int sum or the max profit. This is our final profit. Okay. Then we are gonna just do is loop for auto ampersand p prices. Okay, for each price what am I going to do is I'm gonna uh, I have to do a p minus 1. So I can't use this, correct? What I will be doing is size g I equal to 1, I less than prices dot size I plus plus. So let's do a difference between today's date and the previous date. So that would mean prices of I minus prices of I minus 1. Cool. Now we have the difference here. Now what we want to do is max profit plus equal to differences. We are going to add these differences. Okay. Let me call it max. Uh, we are going to add these differences is what we have discussed. Correct. And let's say this is what we need to return. So we're going to return max. Now let's look at it again. Initially 7, and we have traversed to 7 and 1 as well. We get a sum difference as minus 6. So when I'm at 1, my initial value of the max is going to be minus 6, which is not right because if I keep adding to everything else, I'm going to be negative. So what this means is after adding the max, if my max is less than 0, in which case this is going to be, I'm going to make my max 0 because, well, that means I'm not gonna, whatever happened before this doesn't matter to me. That means I will never consider this transaction as part of my history or consider it to make a profit. Correct? Going on, now let's say if I do minus 2, 3, I did max is 0 now, I've added 4, 4 then minus 2, that becomes 2, 2 and 3 becomes 5. Now, then I go to the last one that becomes 3. So at the end, my max end up becoming 3, which is not the correct answer. So that means I need to record each maximum value as well. So we are gonna keep another variable with us, which is max profit, which is 0. If max is greater than max profit is equal to max, and we will return the same as well. Now let's try to run this code. We pass and let's submit this. It works. Well, this is best time to buy and sell stock. It's a very common dynamic programming problem used where you can read about what dynamic programming is. I'll talk more in future videos. I'll do some bit more of that video dynamic programming as well. But it's one of the basic ones you do among many other questions. You, where you're breaking down the problem instead of taking the entire time frame. You're looking that okay, the profit is what matters to us, so the time frame does not. So I can buy each day and sell the next day as well, and we are just sort of monetizing on that and trying to see if I can utilize it. Uh, so yeah, that is it for today's video. It was a very short one. I hope you guys liked it. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment on what things I can do better. Also, you can connect to me with the top mate link mentioned below. Thank you.